He's different. He's the answer. Hello and welcome to my podcast. Those were the words of teammates describing Jayden Daniels after the game. Before I'm going to get to all that, a reminder, subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You can find us there as part of Ampire Media, Ampire. Always much appreciated when you tune in. Don't forget, you can read my work on ESPN.com. I have multiple stories up now on the site about Jayden Daniels and the Commanders' 38-33 win over the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday night. Man. So before I get into all that good stuff, a reminder, Bram Weinstein, the voice of Commanders, and I will be doing our regular live stream show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday night. I'll be out in Arizona. So join us for that. Going to be bleary-eyed, but I know you're going to want to talk about this one because it was quite a game for multiple reasons. Also, Austin Eckler exited the game in the third quarter with a concussion, left the field, went into the locker room in the concussion protocol, was later diagnosed with that, ruled out. He will not travel with the team overnight to Arizona. Dan Quinn will update his status on Tuesday. We will talk to Quinn at 5:45 Eastern time. Obviously, he's going to go into the concussion protocol, but we'll get more of an update from Quinn at that time. Let's get to the good stuff here, folks, because this one is different. And it's not just because they won the game. There have been some other really big wins for this franchise over the last several years. The Steelers game and the whatever Tuesday night game it was, when the Steelers were undefeated, huge win, really good opponent on the road. Going up to on Monday Night Football, beating the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that was undefeated at the time. Like, those were monstrous wins. But the reason why this one sticks out is not just because of the win. The Bengals were 0-2. They had holes, and we went over those holes before the game. I talked a lot about those. And one thing I would say is, and I said this, like, guys like Jayden Daniels are different. Primetime games are made for guys like Daniels. They're just different. That's why this game is different, because of what he showed. Folks, you got a quarterback. And I know that's been kind of said before. I've never said it like that. Okay. Last time I said that was 2012. He was Robert Griffin III, who was really good. There's a difference with Jayden Daniels, though. And it comes back to be honest, to how well prepared he is. And I think where he can advance his game as he continues to grow as a quarterback in the NFL. It's kind of hard to believe he can top a 21 for 23, 254-yard performance with 2 touchdowns, still no interceptions yet, but he's going to become even better, and that's why I think this game stands out. What he did tonight was impressive. This team has not punted for 14 straight drives, 14 straight scoring drives, not including kneel downs. I have not covered anything like that. This is really different, and I think that's why the game tonight stands out. And again, it's the poise that he shows, but we've talked about that. It's just the big moments that he rises up to, and we've seen it time and time again. And that's where I go back. Let's go into the locker room and I'll tell you what some of the players talk about. I'm walking in, and Jeremy Reeves is walking out the door, and just looks at Jayden Daniels, said, he's different. He's different. That is what these guys think. John Allen said, he's the answer. We know he is. This is where they're at. Like, these guys really, this goes above it, way beyond anything I've heard in recent years. I know with Sam Howell last year, there were times where these guys were saying stuff. It's just different when you talk to them, when you talk to Terry McLaurin, and when you're just talking casually, you're not getting quotes, you're not doing anything. The look in his eye, you know that it's different. There's just something about Jayden Daniels, in addition to, listen, you can see it on the field, but it's not just that. There were times like there's late in the game, there's 4th down, and they're trying to get that play going, and he's motioning the side to get it in. But like Luke McCaffrey said, there's no panic with him when he does that. He's in the moment. He's locked in because he's just there. And this is the kind of competitor he is. that, Sam Cosme, I asked him, what's different about Jayden Daniels? For you, you've been around for a few years. You've been through a lot of this stuff. What's different with Daniels? And he gave one word: hope. Then he said, it's we believe, right? So he added two more words, but hope and we believe. That's what's coming. That's what's emanating from that locker room. Nick Allegretti said he's as composed as any rookie he's been around, any rookie quarterback he's been around. He was around Patrick Mahomes. So you didn't say he's better than Mahomes, just more the composure that he plays with. Now, Mahomes obviously didn't play as a rookie, but point is, they have bought in to Jayden Daniels. When you have that, you give a franchise hope and confidence that and I saw, again, I go back to 12, saw this with Robert. They never felt they were out of a game. And I think that's now how they feel. Now, where this season goes, I don't know, because you have 14 games left. It could go in multiple directions. But when you have Jayden Daniels, you have, as Cosme said, you have hope. There were multiple plays in this game that just jump out to you. And when he was at Arizona State as a rookie, I remember going back and watching the film of that, because someone else told me, like, you watch all these great plays as last year. Yeah, that's great. Go back and watch the freshman film, because what you saw then was the competitor in him. He didn't know what he was doing as a freshman, but he succeeded and excelled because of the competitive drive that he has. And you see this all the time. Like, he likes being in these moments. And what I think really jumps out too is after the game, how composed he is, just even talking to the media. He's not out there boasting. He's not out there doing anything other than basically, he thanks the coaches for having confidence in him and faith in him to put him in certain situations. The 4th down and 4s, the touchdown throw to Terry McLaurin, all that stuff. But it's just like the 4th down and 4. This is maybe the pivotal play of the game. Actually, I think there may be another one, but I put this as a pivotal play for ESPN, because if you don't get it, Bengals are going down, and they've been moving the ball in this defense. But the way you basically you come here and you're aggressive. You come here to win the game. And that's what Dan Quinn did. He put his faith in a rookie quarterback, feeling pretty damn confident. And there's a good reason. He zips the ball to Zach Ertz. First down, there you go. And it happened time and time again. The pass to Luke McCaffrey, another 4th down play. Was it 4th down and 2? A 30-yard pass. Now, give McCaffrey credit on that one too, because he goes, if you watch him in that play, he goes to sit in his zone, but the linebackers are squeezing him there. So he just continues around the linebackers, gets to an open area. Good, savvy veteran, I say veteran, he's not a veteran, good rookie, but good, savvy route running by a rookie in McCaffrey. Just a nice job, and a really good job by Daniels. Stay composed, see him, get the ball to him. Boom. First, it's a big play in the game. The touchdown, man, do you want to talk about the touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin right now? Let's do it then, because it's a cover 0 blitz. You have a defender just breathing and about to hit Daniels. He unleashes the ball. It travels about 45 yards in the air. A perfect throw. Now, McLaurin went up to the coach, to Kingsbury at that time. It's like, give me the ball. I want the ball. He tells Jayden Daniels that too. So what do? You deliver a strike. You drop a dime in that bucket. Every day when we're out of practice, they're trying to hit a ball in the bucket. I don't see Jayden Daniels ever hitting that. You put him in a game, he hits the damn bucket, because that's where he threw it to McLaurin. Just an absolute gem of a throw. What else do you say about that? But it was just the situation. He's about to be hit. No other rookie quarterback is doing this stuff, folks. That was impressive. The 55-yard throw to Terry McLaurin. Now, that may have been, like I told you, I thought the 4th and 4 pivotal play of the game. That 55-yard pass is a huge play for the development of this offense. And it wasn't really, listen, we know Jayden Daniels can throw that ball. He made a living out of doing that at LSU. Not a surprise, but you need to see it here. And even McLaurin said they needed to see this here. Not that they doubted him. I just think it's good for them to see it. And as McLaurin said, this is going to give Daniels even more confidence, and it's just going to keep going up and up. But on that play, what I really, and I told you that I thought McLaurin could be a big factor in this one. First of all, there's good chemistry between the two. The first two games I thought was an aberration. There were multiple times in the first game where I thought they could have hooked up more. And so their yards the McLaurin's stats could have been a lot different. But I also knew in this one, the way Cam Taylor-Britt plays, and yes, the guy who talked about the simplistic college offense, and as Zach Taylor, the Bengals coach, said after the game, is all he knows basically is that offense has not punted since the season opener. So you might want to settle down on the college offense stuff there. But if it is, you got beat by it in a big way. Anyway, on the 55-yarder, nothing necessarily. Well, I was going to say nothing special by McLaurin, except that it was. And here's where we go. So Cam Taylor-Britt, I told you, he's a really good corner, but he plays to his help. So he's not going to really play a lot of man. It's a lot of zone, knowing where the help is, but also where McLaurin lines up at that plays in the inside. They know that there's two ways you can go. You can go down to the inside, cut the double team. You can go to the outside. So what McLaurin has to do, he's got to be very patient and not turn back inside too soon, because then you give Taylor-Britt a chance to react that way. So he presses him knowing that, and actually he didn't know initially which way he was going to go. Bobby Ingram told him, just be decisive, right? And then it's the receivers coach, be decisive on the play. So he starts to go up. He sees that Taylor-Britt starts to open up to the outside, anticipating that go ball down the side, because he's shown that too. As soon as he sees that, he takes a couple more steps. If you cut too soon, it gives him a chance to get back. He doesn't do that, cuts back, and a couple more yards, cuts back inside, and here comes another dime, or the first dime from Jayden Daniels. So just a really good job by those who connecting that. But I told you, like, there's good chemistry. They talk all the time. They're watching film together and talking about stuff all the time. So that connection is only going to grow because of how both of them approach this game. And that, to me, is where Jayden Daniels separates himself from any other of the young quarterbacks that I have covered, is the combination of talent and approach. The 4th down and 1, the competitor comes out. It's a fake, fake handoff, just turning it up over the right side of the line. Daniels, we all know how slender he is, but he has no problem putting his head down, trying to get the yards through that. And now I go back to his freshman year. I go back to that freshman year. So there was a play, I think it was against Oregon. He's running a 2-point conversion. He turns the end, not a similar play, but it's like he's just running around the end. Well, there are multiple defenders there. I'm like, how do you get out of this? Well, he gets out of it by turning upfield, lowering his shoulder, and running through a guy at 160 some pounds. That's a competitor. And that's what I say, that's the stuff you saw on the freshman tape at Arizona State. That's what we saw here tonight. That play, that's a have to have it play. And when he has to have it, he's going to take that extra yard or get those yards and lower his shoulder and do all that. And that's what he did. And he picked it up because of a competitor. He did a good job too. One of the things Dan Quinn talked about, and I want to watch I need to go back and rewatch the game. Haven't really done that, and a lot of times I try to watch some of it again before I even tape this. Hadn't had a chance. Folks, it's almost 2 a.m. and I got a 9 a.m. flight to Arizona. So I'm going to, I wanted to get this out to you as soon as I could, but I felt like he did a better job of keeping his eyes upfield. Now, it didn't always result in a pass down the field. A couple times it did, but I felt like he was more cognizant of that. And I think for getting there a couple weeks into the season is really impressive. And so just so much stuff to build on with Jayden Daniels that, man, I'm going to guess that you may not have slept a lot on after that game. And I don't blame you, because I think this is the first time that you can have a ton of hope, not just, again, for the season. I don't know where it's going to go, but you have to feel really good about what you've seen from him. There were a couple other bulleted throws that he had, and, there are a lot of throws at the line and, whatever. Yeah, that's the NFL. The kid, he's completing over 80% of his passes. Air yards are around 6.7 yards. So they're not always but they're moving the hell out of the ball. Do you care where they're going? Because they're getting the ball down the field. And he's very patient with it. And when there's a chance to attack, he's attacking. That's playing the position. That's the patience and the poise that you need to play the position. And that's what Daniels is showing. That's that again. So whatever you want to call it, man, it works and it's been working. So, where again, I'm sure there's going to be a time where Tress Way has to punt again. And maybe part of the deal with that number swap was Jayden Daniels told him, like, dude, I'm going to save your leg for the first few weeks. I don't know. But, I think the good thing for this offense is that there's a lot of room to grow. I mean, Noah Brown just is starting to integrate himself, and he's not going to, again, he's not going to be a 60 catch guy, but he can help this offense with some of those explosive plays. And I think you're going to see that. And then like Luke McCaffrey, I think can become a little bit of a bigger part. I think there have been a couple times in the first couple of games where he's been more open for things when Daniels keeps his eyes upfield. That's why it's key for him to see, for them to see that he's starting to do that. Now, I don't know how often he was doing that, but it looks from the press box. And again, you got to go back and watch it and get all these angles. But from the press box, it looked like he was more aware of doing that. And that's where you're going to start. That's where you can start to see more big plays. Listen, the guy they're playing on Sunday, Kyler Murray, that's what he does. And it, results in some monstrous plays as I've already seen on film to Marvin Harrison and others because of that. So, the defense, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because there's not a whole lot there. Like the one thing they did do is they forced a couple of field goals. That's what they needed to do tonight, given the way the offense is playing. You cannot survive doing it like that because can the offense score 38 every game? Kind of a hard thing to do. Thought they would have a hard time tonight with T. Higgins back. I thought, the Bengals are really good offense. I did not like at all that they were covering Jamar Chase one-on-one. They do not have the corners to do that. They did it a couple times. He scored 2 touchdowns when they did that. And, nothing wrong with the effort. But what I also liked with the defense, they had a couple plays early in the game where Sanderstill, who got beat on one of the touchdowns, but he has a huge hit on the next series. You have Jeremy Chin with a huge hit to jar ball loose on another possession. You have Frankie Louvu delivering blow after blow. So I think there were some things to take away. The run defense has got to get better, but we knew that, right? And but I wanted, when I go back and watch the film, I'm going to be curious, like, what is the issue still tonight? I told you what I thought there was the first couple of weeks. There's still a problem, and it's going to have to get fixed because teams are going to take more and more advantage of it. And there were way too many big gaps to run through where, like, it's not just a matter of breaking a tackle at the line. Now, there were a couple of missed tackles, not just a matter of that. It's a matter of the gaps are too wide. And that has to change, because if it doesn't change, they're going to put the one thing they said they didn't want to do with Jayden Daniels is have him put that cape on. Well, guess what? That's what he's going to have to do if they don't get that fixed and at least start to become a little bit better and forcing some punts and giving the ball back to an offense where, now, like, they can do a lot, and a lot because of number 5. So I think I would say for you feel how you want. You should feel really good. Defense needs a lot of work, but again, going in, we knew the corners were going to need some work, and they need work. They've got to fix some things, but enjoy this one, folks, because you listen to the players, and I know that you've heard a lot of this stuff over the years. What I'm seeing in the locker room is different. What I'm hearing, what I'm seeing on their faces is different. What you're hearing from them is different. It sometimes can be hard to explain. I hope you're getting a feel for how different it is when you're hearing this, but I think the difference is you're actually seeing it on the field. There's not guesswork, and there's not, anything other than this is now who you guys have to root for. Enjoy it. Anyways, by the way, I think I told you about this. I wrote a story about, and it ran on Monday, kind of a good timing, but that's the plan. But it was all about his historic game against Florida LSU. And what you read in that story, if you read it, go back and read it, oral history, but it talks about all the talents, everything he showed in that game. We saw it tonight. And that's where we're going to call it a wrap here, folks. So I'll get into more of this stuff throughout the week. Again, Tuesday night, 7:30 Eastern time with Bram Weinstein, the voice of the Commanders. I have more content coming to you from Arizona. And, 2-1, folks. Enjoy it. You got yourself a quarterback. Talk to you next time.